are so important in solving problems?
Yeah, they help us find angles when we already know the sine, cosine, or tangent values. It's like working backward to get the missing piece of a triangle.
Exactly. So let's say we have a right triangle and we know the opposite side and hypotenuse. So how do you find the angle?
That's where inverse sine or arcsine comes in. If we set up the equation using SOHCAHTOA, we can take the inverse sine of the ratio to get the angle.
Right. But there's something tricky about inverse function. Remember how a function must pass the horizontal line test to have an inverse?
Yeah, the sine function isn't one-to-one over all real numbers, so we have to restrict its domain from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2 to make inverse sine a function.
Same goes for inverse cosine and inverse tangent. So inverse cosine is defined on 0 and pi, while inverse tangent is on negative pi over 2 and pi over 2.
I get it. That way, we ensure that for every output of the inverse function, there is only one valid input.
Exactly. And did you know that inverse trigonometric functions don't work like reciprocals?
Yeah, people sometimes confuse inverse sine x with 1 over sine x, but they're totally different. The first one is arcsine, while the second one is cosecant.
Good catch. Now, let's try 1. So, what's the inverse cosine of 1/2?
That means we're looking for an angle where cosine theta equals negative 1 of 1/2, and in the valid range of inverse cosine is 0 and pi. That must be 2 pi over 3.
Nice. Now, what about the inverse tangent of square root of 3?
We need an angle where tangent theta equals square root of 3. The only common angle where sine over cosine gives square root of 3 is pi over 3.
Exactly. So, inverse trigonometric functions help us find missing angles, but we have to respect their restricted domains and remember that they're not reciprocals.
Got it. And if things get too tricky, we can always use a calculator.
Just make sure it's in radian mode before hitting on the buttons.
Noted. This makes trigonometry way clearer now.
Thank you. Hey, let's talk about evaluating inverse sine functions today.
Sure. So what exactly does it mean to evaluate an inverse sine function?
Good question. The inverse sine function, written as sine negative 1x or arcsine x, finds the angle whose sine is x. For example, if we have arcsine 1/2, we're looking for an angle whose sine value is 1/2.
Oh, I see. So basically, we're reversing the sine function to find the angle. Let's take an example. What is arcsine 1/2?
Well, we need to find an angle theta such as sine theta equals 1/2. From the unit circle, we know that sine pi over 6 equals 1/2 and sine 5 pi over 6 equals 1/2. But which one should we choose?
That's a good point. The range of the inverse sine function is negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, meaning it only considers the angle from quadrant 1 and quadrant 4.
Exactly. Since pi over 6 or 30 degrees is within this range, the correct answer is arcsine 1/2 equals pi over 6.
Got it. What if you have arcsine square root of 3 over 2?
Great question. We need to find theta where sine theta equals square root of 3 over 2. From the unit circle, sine pi over 3 equals square root of 3 over 2 and sine 2 pi over 3 equals square root of 2. But again, we need an angle in the range of negative pi over 2 and pi over 2.
Right. Since pi over 3 or 60 degree is in quadrant 1, the correct answer is arcsine square root of 3 over 2 equals pi over 3.
You got it. Now, let's try a negative value. What is arcsine negative 1/2?
Okay, we need to find theta such that sine theta equals negative 1/2 from the unit circle, sine negative pi over 6 equals negative 1/2, and sine 7 pi over 6 equals negative 1/2.
But 7 pi over 6 is in quadrant 3, which is outside the allowed range, so we must use negative pi over 6.
That makes sense. So arcsine negative 1/2 is equal to negative pi over 6.
Perfect. What about arcsine negative square root 2 over 2?
We need to find theta where sine theta equals negative pi over 2 from the unit circle. Sine negative pi over 4 equals negative square root of 2 over 2, and sine 5 pi over 4 equals negative square root of 2 over 2.
Again, 5 pi over 4 is outside the valid range. So the correct answer is arcsine negative square root of 2 over 2 equals negative pi over 4.
This is really interesting. So for any positive sine value, we pick the angle from quadrant 1. For negative sine value, we pick angle from quadrant 4 but express it as a negative angle.
Exactly, and you can always check your answer using a calculator. If you enter arcsine 1/2 in degree mode, you'll get 30 degrees, which matches pi over 6.
That's really helpful. I think I understand how to evaluate inverse sine function now.
Awesome! Want to try a few more examples?
Sure, let's do arcsine negative 1.
Good one! We need an angle where sine theta equals negative 1. That happens at negative pi over 2.
So arcsine negative 1 equals negative pi over 2. I see the pattern now.
Exactly, and for arcsine 1, it would be pi over 2 because sine pi over 2 equals 1.
This is really making sense now. Thanks for explaining.
No problem. Let's keep practicing to master this topic.